Good morning, America. Live from northern New England, coastal southern Maine. January 11th, about 10:50 a.m. in the morning here on this wild Wednesday. This is Frank Margell, yes, in the wonderful city of Westbrook, Maine. We are about 10 minutes from Maine's largest city, Portland, and it is an absolutely gorgeous Maine day to be out and about with you. This is a freelance video, and you will find it at Frank Margell at youtube.com. I post on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. I'm out here in the public domain at the Riverbank Park. This is also a WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get, and what you hear in my comments and views. And sometimes I present some facts, and sometimes I don't. So you're gonna always want to do your own research, check your own facts. I'm not affiliated with any business or enterprise, and I don't represent any political action committees out here in northern New England, coastal southern Maine. It feels like spring today, and it's so nice to be out and about with you at the Riverbank Park. And what we're looking at over here is a tribute and a smokestack. Yes, Portland has a proud, Maine. We're about 10 minutes again from Portland, but nonetheless, Maine has a proud history of providing great service to our country in times of war and peace. And we also have some of the most productive yet dwindling supply of paper mills in all of New England. And that is another story, but it is painstaking to watch Maine, all of Maine, go through transition from industry and manufacturers, from making shoes and products to somewhat of a service-oriented state. Maine is in transition, and it's been very difficult up here throughout the years. However, there is a shining light at the end of every tunnel, in my humble opinion. So if you don't agree with what I share with you today, please go ahead and send me a comment at Frank Margell at youtube.com. Again, I post on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. Thank you for the comments and shares. I read them, and I do respond to them from time to time. Let's get right into it today. The other day, I was out and about, and it was about 5 degrees above zero. And I was discussing with you some statements released from a Freedom of Information Act. And that was the governor's vision for Maine. And he recently proposed a budget. And he addressed this budget by way of the process of Maine.government/budget/budget. So you can go to that website, and you can see the governor's proposals. You can find his vision, and I wanted to get into a little bit more of that today. And here we go. We are looking at the document, which you can find online, or you can. You don't need to do a Freedom of Information Act. You just go to www.maine.gov/budget/, and you're going to find Governor LePage's proposed biennial budget for 2018 to 2019. All you need to do is go down, and you can click on a PDF file. There's several on that page, and you can read along with me, or you can just take my word for it. But once again, I'm not speaking for the governor or the state of Maine. I'm not affiliated with them with regards to what I'm sharing with you today. But I would like to share some of what I found on www.maine/budget/, and here we go. Once you do find Governor LePage's vision for Maine, you're going to come across a really nice picture of the state of Maine, and you're going to see on page 3 Governor LePage's vision for Maine. And there's 4 pages that I have gone over. The first 2 we discussed the other day, and the second 2 pages I would like to discuss with you and comment. I'm not going to read all of what the governor's proposed vision and budget is for Maine, but we're in the very beginnings of what the governor, has produced, and I'm fascinated by it, and I'm learning a lot about the governor and the budget process. So if you have any concern for the future of Maine, and if you're a legislator or a citizen or a world citizen or someone that lives and thrives in this country, it would do you some good, in my humble opinion, to read the words of an accomplished governor and what he proposes for the future of Maine. Okay, so let's start, and I'm going to quote this information, and bear with me as I am out here in the elements, but let's go for it. On page 5, again, you can find this particular document at maine.gov/budget/documents/2017 supplemental 2018-2019 biennial budget briefing.pdf, or just go to maine.com and search under the governor's budget. Google it, you'll get there, I'm sure. Okay, page 5. We're at the first paragraph, and I'm going to quote this, so bear with me. Here we go. Quote, "My budget sends a message that we are cutting taxes. We welcome professionals and small businesses, and we want working people to keep more of what they have earned." Unquote. There's not a whole lot to comment about that, but clearly the governor wants to cut taxes and welcome business and professionals to the great state of Maine. Okay, let's go down to the third paragraph, and it starts with "by 2020," and I'm going to quote this paragraph. So here we go. Quote, "By 2020, Maine families and small businesses will have seen a reduction in their income tax burden of more than $600 million a year because of tax cuts ushered in during my administration. We will achieve this significant reduction in a fiscally responsible manner by cutting the size of state government and modestly expanding our sales tax base to reflect the current spending habits of consumers." Unquote. What I gather from that plain-spoken language is that the governor wants to reduce Maine's income tax and increase the sales tax to make Maine more attractive for income earners. If you agree with me or disagree with me, or you have your own interpretations of this, once again, you can always send me a comment regarding this. Let's go down to the next paragraph, which is paragraph 4 on the governor's vision for Maine. Here we go. Quote, "Another citizens' initiative that will wreak havoc on the economy is the law to raise the minimum wage. Mainers agreed at the ballot box to raise the minimum wage, but they did not understand the consequences of the law they voted for. It will devastate the restaurant industry, prevent teens and low-skilled workers from getting jobs, and push the elderly on fixed incomes deeper into poverty by raising prices on everything they buy." Unquote. I apologize for the error. I did my best. Again, always check your facts, but you can find that on page 5 of this document, the 4th paragraph down. Always check your facts. I'd like to comment on this 4th paragraph that I read, in that here the governor in the 2nd paragraph, quote, "Mainers agreed at the ballot box to raise the minimum wage, but they did not understand the consequences of the law they voted for, unquote. I beg to differ in that I believe that the mindset or the intention of the voter is something that not one government leader, a politician or civic organizer or anybody can claim to know. And it is a presumption by the governor that Mainers agreed at the ballot box, but they didn't understand the consequences of their vote. You know, this is where I differ with the governor. But hey, he's approaching it from his obvious point of view. As to whether Mainers understood what they were voting for or not, we may never know. Again, unless we interview everybody, which is humanly impossible, that did vote for these ballot measures that he's referring to, we'll never know. But the governor seems to presuppose in his vision that Mainers did not understand what they were voting for. I just beg to differ. Did what they vote for agree with the governor's vision or disagree with the governor's vision? Well, clearly, what the governor is stating here and proposing is that he does not agree with a minimum wage hike, and that was ballot measure 4. So it's obvious that the governor is in opposition to some of the ballot measures that were passed in the November election. And I'm okay with that. He's a governor, and by all means, there should be nothing preventing him from stating his opposition to what clearly is risky business, and that is raising the minimum wage rapidly and quickly by 2020 to $12 an hour at minimum. So look into that, check your facts on that. The next page, and this is page 6, we're going to look at the first complete paragraph, and I'm going to quote this. So read along with me, check your own facts, or you can take my word for it, but always check your own facts. Here we go. Quote, "This budget also makes important reforms in education funding. Rather than spend money on a bloated administrative structure, we will direct funding to where it is needed most, our students and our underpaid teachers in the classrooms," unquote. The governor is addressing some reforms, and there is abundant talk of a statewide teacher's contract. I'm going to try to keep you posted on all of this. We have just begun to explore the budget process and what the governor has proposed. This is all going before the legislator and the citizens of Maine, the United States of America, and the world for that fact. So always check your facts. Let's go down to paragraph 5 on page 6. Quote, "This budget reflects my vision for an economically viable Maine in which families, businesses, and future generations can thrive and succeed. Our state needs bold initiatives to make it a place where people want to live and work and an attractive destination for young families from across the country. This budget should serve as a roadmap not only for this legislator, but for future legislators and future governors," unquote. I love this plain-spoken language, and I really appreciate the way the governor is moving his thoughts and his vision forward, and he's done it in a plain-spoken, common-sense manner. And boy, you want to talk about some meat and potatoes. I really enjoyed that paragraph. We have 2 more paragraphs to go. Paragraph 6, quote, "Our administration has proven that by responsibly introducing tax cuts and prioritizing state spending, we can allow Maine families to keep more of their money and still deliver the services demanded by the public," unquote. And finally, paragraph 7, quote, "Over the next 2 years, I hope we can work together to set Maine on the path to future prosperity. More importantly, I hope you pledge to do no harm to Maine's elderly population and to our state economy. Period. Sincerely, and it's signed by Paul R. LePage, and underneath that is his name in print, Paul R. LePage. Underneath that is Governor. And there you have it, folks. The first 4 pages are fascinating to read, and if you ever wanted to take a class in civics and politics, go no further than maine.gov/budget/ and learn all about the governor's proposed budget, the process of bringing it before the legislator and Maine citizens. This is fascinating reading, and I want to continue to share it with you. Now, this is just part of a 30-page document. The rest of the document goes into more specifics, and I'm currently on page 13 of that document. And after I go through it and finish reading that, I want to share with you some more additional information on what the governor is proposing to the Maine people and the legislator. Right here in northern New England, coastal southern Maine, this is Frank Margell. What a gorgeous spring-like Maine day to be out and about with you, sharing my views, my commentary, and the governor's vision for the future. Once again, I'm not affiliated with any political action committee, and I'm out here in the public domain sharing my comments with you. And I want to thank the governor and all those who serve the great state of Maine. God bless you. And once again, you can send me a comment, whether you agree, disagree, don't care, or have something else to say, at Frank Margell at YouTube.com. I post on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. January 11th, Wild Wednesday, about 11:15 a.m. in the morning. And sun and fun, northern New England, coastal southern Maine. Getting all political and looking at some real meat and potatoes and processes that take place. It's one of the most important jobs the legislator will ever do, and that is to work out the governor's proposed budget for the next 2 years. Yes, right here in northern New England, coastal southern Maine. This is Frank Margell. You have a great day, and no matter where you are in the free world, I will keep you posted. Thanks again, and take care. This is Frank out.